What if the very stories we've been told about UFOs, aliens, and extraterrestrial contact are nothing more than a carefully orchestrated smokescreen? A smokescreen designed by the global elite to manipulate, control, and ultimately subjugate humanity. Mainstream media, as we know, takes orders from the powers that be. So when there's a dramatic shift in the narrative surrounding UFOs and extraterrestrials, it's not just a coincidence, it's a strategy. But why has the media suddenly ramped up the alien agenda? What are they really preparing us for? According to insiders with direct access to the inner workings of the global power structure, it seems the conspiracy theorists were right all along. The elites aren't just preparing for disclosure, they're masterminding a global deception even bigger than what we saw with COVID. This isn't a simple cover-up. It's a false flag operation on a scale that could shift the balance of power and push humanity into total global enslavement. And it's all playing out as we speak before our eyes. Before we dive in, join the People's Voice Locals community if you haven't already, and sign up to become a member of the world's first ever cyber nation that truly believes in life, liberty, and the pursuit of your dreams. Visit joson.com and click the Join Us button today. It's completely free. As strange drones and glowing orbs continue to appear in the US skies, defying the laws of physics and hypnotizing the masses, it's crucial to remember one thing. We can't trust anything we're being told by the mainstream media or the federal government. The global elites engineered a crisis with the COVID pandemic to undermine national sovereignty and frighten the masses into submission. And tragically, they came close to succeeding. But for anyone paying attention to the unsettling rhetoric from Davos, it's clear. The global elites are not finished with us yet. It seems COVID was just a warm-up, a dress rehearsal. Now, they have even bigger plans in the works, and one of the most shocking involves disclosure. After decades of dismissing anybody who dared to question UFOs as a conspiracy nut, the mainstream media are now doing a complete 180, falling over themselves to push the narrative favoured by the global elite. Despite the legacy media's sudden 180, rational people have always known that UFOs and aliens do exist. The prophet Ezekiel wrote about it in the first chapter when he discussed wills in the sky. It's not just the Bible. Every culture on Earth has catalogued sightings and built mythology around unidentified craft. And in more recent times, former US intelligence official David Grush confirmed under oath that aliens exist. The US government is fully aware of this because they are in possession of crashed UFOs and non-human bodies.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Mainstream networks are hard at work engaging in social conditioning, subtly preparing the public for the global elite's next grand deception, as former CIA officer John Ramirez explains.
And I would say I've heard 2027 in a kind of an official capacity I can't reveal. So I think I would say that people in the government are aware of something happening and that there's limited time, a few more years to prepare the people, and that's what's ramping up this acceleration from the previous 7 decades of not even acknowledging it to now we are acknowledging it at a faster and faster pace.
Former intelligence official Lou Elizondo concurs with Ramirez and says that disclosure is being rushed because a major event is about to happen which he can't mention to anybody.
This one's from Bodie Fuller 9783. Lou, we keep hearing rumours about a quote-unquote major event that could be the reason for the disclosure timeline that is now in place. Does this event have anything to do with this asteroid Apophis scheduled very narrowly to miss our planet in 2027?
Negative. It has nothing to do with the asteroid Apophis and its approach to Earth. It has to do with something else potentially, which I'm not prepared to go into conversation right now.
Understood, and I know naturally a lot of people would be curious on that note. Is there anything you'd want to expand on that when it comes to 2027?
I'm gonna, not 2027, but I'm gonna, there may have been some other dates proposed, but I'm gonna let the experts noodle on that and figure that out. You know, it's certainly too premature for me to say anything one way or the other because we simply don't have enough data.
The alien hysteria and media frenzy couldn't be more perfectly timed, aligning with warnings from multiple whistleblowers from the CIA and Area 51. For decades, they've been counting down the years and alerting humanity that 2024 is the beginning of the pivotal years, when the elite play their ultimate ace card, disclosure.
I had the opportunity over the years to interview, again, people who have worked at the test site at Groom Lake. One gentleman spent 12 of his 30 years in black programs at Groom Lake. When I asked him, I said, first of all, I said, do you believe in UFOs? And he looked at me with a straight face in one-on-one. He said, absolutely, positively, they do exist. I said, can you expand upon that? And he said, no, I can't. About a year later, we were talking about, again, activities at Groom Lake. And I asked him, I said, can you really tell me what's happening out there? And he said, well, there's a lot of things that are going on there that I won't be able to tell you until the year 2025. But we have things in the Nevada desert that would make George Lucas envious.
Whistleblowers are sounding the alarm. What we're witnessing in 2024, from the Miami Mall UFO incident in January to the glowing orbs now lighting up our night skies, is no coincidence. This is part of a global event that could alter the course of humanity forever. The world is currently being conditioned to witness what appears to be a massive alien invasion. Thousands of holographic alien warships projected into the skies, hiding real military craft capable of causing actual destruction. Why would they do this? The truth is darker than most can imagine. Stay tuned. We'll reveal the details, including expert testimony, right after this word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is PillsForever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. Under Biden, the price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with PillsForever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this testimony of Joe Tippins, a cancer survivor, thanks to fenbendazole.
2 years ago, Joe Tippins says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine. Specifically, fenbendazole.
My insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved me.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkout. Please click the link below this video or call 256-664-4170 to take advantage of this fantastic offer. The elite are constantly devising new ways to unleash chaos on humanity, clinging to their control while advancing their agenda of total domination. For years, they've plotted to use UFOs as the ultimate tool to achieve their most ambitious and sinister goals. Insiders reveal this is their ace in the hole, the ultimate move designed to throw the world into chaos and hysteria, forcing humanity to unite under their control in the face of manufactured turmoil. The chaos will pave the way for the ultimate formation of a one-world government, seamlessly accepted by a terrified and desperate population. This government will mark the rise of the New World Order, ushering in a grim future of enslavement and accelerated depopulation. US military veteran Tom Keating delves into former CIA agent John Spence's explosive memoir, uncovering chilling details about the elite's ultimate psychological operation.
My name is Joseph Spencer. From May 1970 to October 1997, I served the United States government as a top secret operative, but not in a category that is commonly known or understood. I was known as a man in black. Following 7 years acting as a counterintelligence agent for the CIA, I was recruited for a new assignment that entailed working within above top secret operations. I was aware of the black budget projects, but never knew the context of them due to their high level of secrecy. Even the president was denied access to their inner workings. Annually, billions of dollars are poured into black projects, which operate without any supervision or intrusion. They have full autonomy. Now the grand finale. This is some scary shit. In March 1997, an event known as the Phoenix Lights became the most infamous UFO sighting in history. A mile-wide vessel, clearly not man-made, flew slowly and silently over the state of Arizona and was witnessed by 10,000 people, including the governor of Arizona. To date, there has been no reasonable explanation. But for every witness interviewed, the craft was as real as anything they'd ever seen. Their lives were transformed. They now believe that we truly are not alone. However, there is another truth, for I know what they really saw. In 1986, while stationed at an underground installation near Boulder, Colorado, I was introduced to Project Skybeam by Lieutenant General Andrew Garris. I was then led down a corridor and into a large hangar where a stealth bomber hovered only 20 feet above me. I stood there confused. Then Garris looked over at me and smiled, then asked if I was certain of what I was seeing. I replied, of course. What else could it be? I was then shocked to find out that this wasn't a real craft. It was a projected hologram. Since the early 1950s, scientists have been developing holographic technology, and over the years improved it to a state that we can only imagine. As I stood there staring at the bomber, which looked so absolutely real and solid that I could reach up and touch it, I contemplated the possibilities. What if this projection was 1,000 feet up in the sky? How would anyone know that that was an illusion? The Phoenix Lights craft, witnessed by 10,000 people, was the first grand-scale skybeam test upon the public. It succeeded beyond expectations. In October 1938, Orson Welles unleashed his War of the Worlds radio broadcast to the American public. It was so realistically portrayed, vast portions of the population went into panic. Terrified citizens scrambled to evacuate their cities in droves. America had been easily tricked by very simple means. To amplify this response, those who are truly in power of not only our country, but all the countries on the planet, and who are the true purveyors of the depopulation process, have formulated the final stage of their sinister plan. In the year 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic. Real military crafts within the holograms will inflict actual damage to the surrounding areas to sell the gimmick. And as a result of the ensuing human chaos, a one-world government will immediately form without any resistance from the people. They will be the new world order. Once this happens, we as a people will be doomed to enslavement and accelerated depopulation. With that said, the only hope for human salvation is to acquire and spread the knowledge of these activities and agendas. Resist, retaliate, then conquer this imposing enemy. The time is now, as humanity is rapidly approaching its final days.
The global elite like to tell us about their plans in advance. It's called revelation of the method. And the notorious globalist Henry Kissinger let the cat out of the bag about Project Bluebeam as far back as the 1970s. Kissinger, who was Klaus Schwab's mentor, explained in clear terms how the globalists will convince Americans to accept the New World Order. He wrote, "Today, Americans will be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they'll be grateful. This is especially true if they were told there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all the peoples of the world will pledge with world leaders to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by their world government. Werner von Braun, the German and US aerospace engineer who worked on Operation Paperclip, confessed on his deathbed in 1977 that the global elite were planning to use terrorists and pandemics as false flags to manipulate and control the masses. This insider information from the deep state takes on even more significance when you consider what von Braun said would be the last piece of the elite's puzzle, a fake alien invasion. There's no doubt that the global elite have the technology to pull off this deception. In fact, we know the US government once considered using holograms during the Iraq War. Air Force planners searching for a bloodless way to overthrow Saddam Hussein proposed creating a massive hologram that would appear to be Allah urging Iraqis to rise up against him. Although the plan was never carried out, the fact that it was even considered at such a high level shows that this technology has been available for years. Microchips, holograms, electromagnetic waves for telepathic communication. It's eerie how everything Monast warned about in 1994 is now unfolding right before our eyes. Let's take a step back. What have you learned over the past few years? You've seen that governments lie, media deceives, and corporations manipulate. The CIA controls the narrative, and behind them, the shadowy figures of the Committee of 300, an elite group whose agenda has always been about control, power, and reducing the globalist population. Now ask yourself, why are the same entities, the media, the government, and even companies like Disney and Netflix, that downplayed films like The Sound of Freedom, now pushing the alien narrative so hard? This isn't about disclosure, it's about distraction. The ultimate goal? The 2030 Agenda, a coordinated effort to control humanity and shrink the population. The truth is our greatest weapon against this evil. Stay vigilant, question everything, and remember, this isn't just about aliens, it's about control. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the elite, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our amazing team and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. I hope to see you there. Today's video is brought to you by IPv6ers. Are you a content creator who wants to publish information online without Big Brother spying and censoring your every move? IPv6ers is set to revolutionize the way information is disseminated on the internet by eliminating the need for big tech companies to provide unreliable, overpriced services such as self-hosting, email, and data management. IPv6ers enables an easy and accessible way for you to host your own web and email server with direct end-to-end connections and enhanced security. This means no snooping from Big Brother and no interference from the technocratic elite. If Hillary Clinton can get away with running her own server, why shouldn't you? Go to thepeoplesvoice.tv/IPv6 to sign up, or click the link below this video to take back control of the internet and win the info wars against the globalists. If you like our content, help support our sponsor IPv6ers and go to thepeoplesvoice.tv/IPv6 today. Thank you IPv6ers for making this video possible.